My name is Arabella Maria Johnson Zeba. Some people call me Fatima, Fatima Zeba, Sister Fatima. And I like all of my name because it all means something important to me. I am a mom of three. They're all totally different, but they all are amazing. My oldest daughter is a scientist. She's getting her master's degree in physiology. Her undergrad's in biology, neurophysiology, and I don't know anything about any of that stuff. My son is working on getting certifications in computers, and he loves history, and he's a people person. My oldest daughter is not, and my youngest daughter is in the 6th grade, and she is a little princess, and she likes everything that sparkles and glitters and art and all this stuff. So they're all completely different. I love storytelling. I am a reading specialist. Reading is so important to me, and being able to teach kids how to read, to love reading, and really thinking about the language that writers choose to use is important. And I think there are so many great writers that tell great stories in their work, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. There's always a point where they start. So just looking at language. So I think me and storytelling go hand in hand, even though I don't necessarily tell stories like my friend Ariana, who's an amazing storyteller. But I feel connected to people who want to tell stories because I think it's great at really teaching people about differences, but also where we find those common threads of similarities and experiences. So right now I'm working as a reading specialist where I'm coaching teachers how to teach reading, but I also have my own caseload where I work with students. And then with the older students, I'm working on teaching them about writing and really kind of owning what they say and thinking about word choice and what is the message you want to convey to the person who's reading your work, which becomes powerful and impactful for students. Even when I taught high school kids, I'm always saying, what is your message that you want to convey? And they don't think about that because people don't tell kids, like, what do you want to say? They just tell them to write something and, you know, I want you to write about this. But my approach is totally different. It's totally like, what do you want to say? And think about the words you want to use and think about the impact you want to have, because it's powerful. That's your voice, and it's important for you to use. I do at times write my own things for myself. I journaled all my life. I was abused as a kid, and I know that writing really helped me, and I didn't understand why at the time because I had actually suppressed what happened to me as a kid. But it has been important for me to write about my experiences, my journey, and to see that I'm really, God made me such a strong person. And so writing and telling stories is really, 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 really important. And having kids learn how to read and fall in love with language and listen and understand stories and maybe connect to their own story and what's happening in their lives is extremely important for me. It's a passion that I have for me. Love yourself for who you are. You are not in a competition with anyone but yourself, and do what you are passionate about. It is not about a man or a woman or anything. Love yourself. Love who you are, whatever size you are. Love whatever hair texture, hair color. Just love yourself and be your best self. Be athletic, be artistic, be creative, whatever it is that you want to do. And don't let anyone define what your life should be. If you want to pack up and move to California because you feel like it's the place that you want to start a career, then pack up and move. Because you could have people put expectations on your life and you would never realize your full potential because you were always living up to somebody else's expectations. I realize that more now, and I've realized that, like, my sister was always thin and always all this stuff going on, and but she was always on a diet. She was never happy with being a size 8, and I'm sitting here like I'm way bigger than an 8. And it's just like, women are just never happy. We always complain about our size, our this isn't good enough, that isn't good enough. And because we're trying to live up to some kind of expectation that somebody created, and we don't even know who those people are. They probably dead somewhere. And I just don't want to do that anymore. And I realized that, this 2 years of going through a divorce, I was married to someone who was not meant for me. But living up to other people's expectations. Oh no, just be patient. No, just, accept this. I heard all kinds of things. So my advice is, do what you feel good about in your heart. Listen to what you want to do and own that piece, and take care of yourself and love yourself. And then the person who's meant for you will be right there. Whatever it is that you want to do will be right there. And know that every little piece of your life that's happening, whether you believe in God or you don't, I believe in God, it is preparing you. So everything that you're doing is preparing you, but it has to be what you want to do. I have a good friend, and I had all this stuff like happening at the same time. Like, I'm being inducted into the John Hopkins University Phi Delta Kappa. It's like an international education organization. They do a lot of research and writing. I didn't even know, like, I was being nominated, and they're like, yeah, you. I was like, okay. And I was doing all of this, like, professional development, guest lecturing, talking about like how to teach kids reading, and I was feeling overwhelmed. But he was just like, God has prepared you, and he would not give you something you can't handle. So I think that is my advice. Do what you're passionate about, because just doors will just open that you wouldn't think about. Don't go about after money, because money will come and you'll have so much work, you'll be like, no. So that's my advice. Totally love yourself, be yourself, and do what you want to do. Not what your parents, sorry parents, I'm a parent, but that's the one thing I try to tell my kids. Do what you feel passionate about, not, what my expectation. My son is not going to college. He's getting certifications, and he thought I was going to have a meltdown about it, but that's not for him. That's not his road. That's not. While I have one daughter who's a valedictorian and graduated from, got a degree in biology, neurophysiology, and gets nervous if she gets a B on some, so it's like, no, I want them to be their full human, lovely individual selves. As long as they're good people and they're working hard and they're doing what they're passionate about, everything else will fall into place.